Welcome back to another episode of the Get Back Coach presented by Apollo Media. Second episode of the new season. And Jay, we have a ton to talk about. Starting off with probably the biggest drama going on in college football, and it has nothing to do with things going on in a program or on the field. It has to do with the College Football 27, the video game. EA Sports betrayed the college football community. They put in microtransactions into the offline game modes, which were supposed to be sacred to the college football community. Jay, I know you've been in and out of like social media. Did you see any of this?
I did. It was it just blew up, I think. Even people that like aren't on social media wanted to talk about it because like I have friends that still play the college football games. They were so excited about it coming back. And when this news came out, they were heated, let me tell you. Because I mean, microtransactions are a crime against gaming in general. I feel like that's something that we have complained about for a long time, but to put them in offline game modes is one of the wildest things I've ever seen in my life.
And Jay, the worst part about it was they took away the sliders. So for those of you who may not know, when college football came back, as many of you guys know, one of the biggest offline game modes is the Dynasty. You create a coach, and the sickos like myself, and I know a lot of other people who have played the game throughout, at least 2 decades, loved creating a coach and then working your way through the ranks of college football. So you'll start off at a small school and then work your way probably to your favorite program at the end. And when the college football game came back, the normal progression to level up your guy was pretty slow, but you had sliders. You could put it to faster because, hey, who cares? It's offline. It's not competitive. You're not using a coach online, so no one really cared. Well, what they did was they put the microtransactions in saying, hey, you want to go faster? Well, pay this price and we'll upgrade your guy. And then they took out the sliders, the fast and faster slider. And it was a very big bait and switch. And it wasn't talked about by EA. The developers apparently weren't too happy. And Jay, we started seeing partners of EA who are supposed to be promoting the game, like Bordeaux.
I think Bordeaux was the big one that I saw.
He's the big one.
Carrying the torch on it.
Drew NTE. I don't know what NTE stands for, but those two guys are paid by EA to promote their games. And they're like, yo, this is messed up. Like, you're ruining it. And then EA sends out a memo to them. And it was kind of like, it was kind of patronizing, like, well, it's supposed to be challenging in Road to Glory. It's like, yeah, it's supposed to be challenging, but like, I only have 3 credits and I have to use 2 to keep my guy eligible. I can only use 1 to keep him healthy, and I can't use anything to level him up. Like, what do you want me to do here? Like, this is like terrible. Yeah. Like, it's not a challenge. It's not fair. And then I think 2 days later, they came to their senses and said microtransactions are gone. And apparently the sliders will be back up this week. As of Monday night, they are not up yet, Jay. But I'm sure they will. But Jay, this is like, again, not a political podcast, but this is like corporate greed. And this is how good things like are ruined.
Yeah. And it's a trend. Like it's EA Sports is not the only one who does this. Like, no. I mean, we've seen it with pretty much any game developer nowadays. It's just a curse that we deal with. But good on the guys for like kicking back, right? Like Bordeaux, Drew and T, those guys for taking a stand, especially when they're getting paid by EA Sports, right? Like, I mean, that can lose a paycheck. But the backlash was so swift and so sudden that EA Sports turned around. Now they haven't got the sliders back yet, but I'm sure we'll be keeping an eye on that. And then I have to imagine if they don't get it fixed, there will be some bigger issues coming along. But no, I mean, it's just frustrating. I think it's a problem across the board. And it's like, I mean, we talk about gaming, but and other things too, right? Just
Mhm.
like the subscription models, like streaming was so great when it started, and now it's kind of become this thing where they charge you more and more to get the channels. And
Yep.
uh, like I love seeing a win for the consumer
Yeah.
because it seems like there's
'Cause
not very many of those
we
anymore.
don't get many. No, we don't get many. Um, but yeah, if it's listen, I love the game. I'm playing it. I'm enjoying it. I don't think it's good as the last two, but I do like that they took those off. And listen, microtransactions unfortunately are a part of life, but like offline modes, like leave them alone. And Jay, one last point here because I forget who it was. Like you want kids to like play your college football game and love your game. Um, they're going to play on the easiest or like the second to easiest difficulty, right? Well, they're not getting any experience points for those two. So, like, they're not leveling up their guy at all. They're not like where to the point where it's like, hey, my imaginary kid, is on season two and his guy isn't leveled up at all because he's playing on easy difficulties.
Yeah,
Like, if it's offline,
who
let him
cares?
do whatever, like, let him do whatever you want. Like, but I like that. I hope they stay out of it. And listen, I had friends tell me, I had 2K friends tell me, hey, the microtransactions are gonna come for you. And I'm like, no, they would never. And they're like, yep, they're gonna come. And 3 years in. But I like that they walked it back. But yeah, so hopefully that's it of the video game drama.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that, but I am glad they walked it back.
Yep.
Uh, it's funny, right? Like everybody's looking for different ways to add an extra buck, and that also extends to the conferences, doesn't it, Jake?
Yeah, it does because Jay, we have now entered a world where the Monster Energy Big 12 conference is now a legitimate sentence that people are going to be saying on Saturday broadcasts. Um, I thought this was a joke at first. I had to look a few times to make sure that, I am not getting parody accounted. Um, I still can't believe it's real. Like Jay, did you see this coming at all? Like I didn't.
I mean, look, as the resident NASCAR guy here, I am used to series having title sponsors, right? Like for the longest time, it was the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. NASCAR now, the Cup Series doesn't have the title sponsor; it's just the Cup Series. But you still have like
Mhm.
the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, which used to be the Xfinity Series, which used to be the Nationwide Series, which used to be the Busch Series. If we go all the way back in time,
Yes.
the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, right? The ARCA Menards Series. So, I mean, this is weird. Like, it's weird to say the Monster Energy Big 12 conference.
Mhm.
Uh, but in the scheme of things, this isn't the sponsorship thing that I'm most irritated with, right? Like, I'm still calling Heinz Field Heinz Field. You
Yeah.
know, you look
Mhm.
at certain things like that, and like nobody's ever going to call it by its full name. We all
No.
know that. Like it's going to be the
No.
Big 12 conference.
Yeah.
And if somebody calls it the Monster Energy Big 12 conference, it's probably because they're making some kind of joke. Uh,
Or they're getting paid to say it.
or they're getting paid to say it, which we are not. So we will be
We're
calling
not.
it the Big 12. No
Yeah.
free ads.
Yeah. You hear that, Monster Energy? Hear that, Big 12? You want us to call it by a full name? Throw a couple bones our way. Uh,
Maybe a white monster.
yeah.
Just in
Oh,
case, dude.
never mind.
It's a funny story.
There's a joke. There's a joke in there, but anyway.
I'm gonna go off topic a little bit here. Like speaking of
Yeah.
Monster Energy, when Jeff Banks and Jake Spavital were at A&M, they
Mhm.
had these like red monsters they'd always drink. I think they called them the Lion's Blood. It was just a way to, I guess, get the energy going in the morning if you're not a coffee drinker. I think you divide up whatever energy source you have. Like
Mhm.
you're either an energy drink person or a coffee person.
Yeah.
I've always been a coffee person, Jake.
Yeah, neither for me. In college, to wake myself up to go to those early classes, I did like the Mountain Dew in the morning, or as I like to call it, trailer park frappuccino. Um,
Dude, you stop in at the gas station, get you a Mountain Dew and a hot dog, right? It's a
man,
trucker diet.
I was student teaching and I was having a Mountain Dew before I would student teach back in the day. I've gotten off of that. I'm strictly water
There you go.
for the mornings on. The one healthy thing I do. But the lion's blood, I like that.
Lion's blood.
I like it.
That's insane.
So I do have a serious question though. BYU's okay with this?
Uh, we're not, qualified to get into the religious
So
things,
I did
restrictions.
do
I
some
don't know
digging.
exactly. Okay.
I did do some digging here because that was my first thought is BYU okay with this? So BYU walked back their no caffeine on campus thing because that was kind of a taboo thing for Mormons to drink anything with caffeine in it. And they now put soda on campus or some sort of caffeinated drinks on campus.
Dr. Pepper is a big deal.
Yes, Dr. Pepper, I think is a big deal there. So now I know energy drinks is like taking it to the extreme, but apparently they're okay with it.
Yeah,
As far as I saw, BYU will be supporting the patch. Okay, I'm getting off topic here. You know what it reminds me of? That viral video of
the lady that's like talking about how monsters do not. I was thinking the same thing, dude. I'm right there with you.
Bottoms up.
Yep.
And the devil laughs. That's what I was thinking about when the BYU with this and BYU together.
That's some Charlie from It's Always Sunny.
Yes.
Connecting the dots.
Yeah, you see what that means, that. So yeah, Monster Energy Big 12. Okay, so Jay, this is not in our notes, so this is going to be right off the cuff.
Oh boy.
If you have another conference that would get into a partnership like this, who would it be and what would the partnership be?
All right. It's hard to do it by conference because, like, if it was like, let's say the North Carolina schools, like I'm thinking Cheerwine is like their deal there.
Mm-hmm.
The SEC though, I'm going to go with the SEC and Cookout. I think Cookout is a great partnership there.
The Cookout SEC.
Yeah, the Cookout SEC. I think you go up to the Big Ten. Like, what would you do? Because that's your neck of the woods.
It's so
spread out too.
It is because like I would think Midwest first. So my first thought was Culver's.
Yeah.
It would be like the Culver's Big Ten, but then you have Penn State, Maryland, and Rutgers in their own little area.
And the California schools.
Yeah, and then you have the California. So it's really tough. Same thing with the ACC. You have Boston College all the way down to Florida State. It's tough. Yeah. But I think the Cookout,
California schools there too. Don't forget, it's the All Coast Conference.
I think the Cookout SEC would probably be the best bet.
Yeah, or Sunbelt. I mean, even with the Sunbelt, you get the Cookout.
The Cookout Sunbelt. I think
Cookout Sunbelt would be probably even better.
Yes, the Cookout Sunbelt. Hell, hey, if you brought back the Big 8, it could have been
Casey's. You could get Casey's, the Great Plains, gas station chain.
Yeah,
with the breakfast pizza, legendary stuff up there.
I was thinking Whataburger.
I mean, Whataburger would be good for the Southwest Conference, right?
Oh, the Southwest, yes. Sorry, I said Big 8. I'm sorry, I meant Southwest Conference. Yeah, that's the other thing. Oh, I know. I got
In and Out Pac-12 would have been
the In and Out Pac-12 would have been fantastic. So again, you have that expansion, right? Oh man, I was going to think the Buc-ee's Sunbelt. Because it's in Virginia. It's
good. Yeah.
Hey, listen, the Buc-ee's Sunbelt works. It starts in Virginia. There's one in Virginia now, and it goes all the way down to Texas.
Yeah.
I think the Buc-ee's Sunbelt. That needs to be the next one right there.
Oh man.
I think we figured it out.
Yeah.
All right. Jay, let's get into the meat and potatoes of what this.
I got one more.
You got one more?
Let's get the National Park System to sponsor the Mountain West.
Yes. Yes.
The Mountain West brought to you by the National Park Services.
Oh, beautiful. Boom. Oh my God. Yes, absolutely. I love it. Now, what the meat and the potatoes of what this episode is all about. Jay and I are going to be running through every single head coaching hire in the FBS. Okay, we're going to break it down by conferences. And Jay, I have took it upon myself to start in the Big Ten. And I think you know where I'm going to start here. And that is Matt Campbell coming from Iowa State, a lot of success at Iowa State, going to Penn State. Jay, so I just want to say that Matt Campbell's personality has kind of been a breath of fresh air at State College. James Franklin being more of a politician type, CEO type, and now Matt Campbell is more of a ball coach. He is, I think, getting the alumni back. I think he's really hitting all of the points he needs to hit to rally this community again, who was really divided towards the end of that Franklin era. So I love what Matt Rule is doing. Penn State right now, recruiting wise, is doing about the same, a little worse than what James Franklin was there. And I think that is a worry, but I like Matt Campbell. And honestly, I think Penn State's kind of a dark horse going into this year because of their easy schedule. But Matt Campbell is a great program builder, and I think he fits in perfectly at Penn State.
Yeah, great program builder. I think as long and as drawn out as the process was for Penn State to find their guy, I think they hit it as well as they could have. I look at Matt Campbell, and he's a guy that has had success at a place in Iowa State that hasn't had a lot of historical success. Obviously, the standard is going to be higher at Penn State. We know that just going to the playoff is not going to be enough. We want to see the Net and the Lions compete. All right, the fans up in State College are going to want to see that. I do think it's going to be a little bit of time. We're going to have to see how things shake out early on. And I know it's all roses right now. There's going to be some thorns as we go through this process. But I do think Matt Campbell was a good decision for Penn State.
There are already some thorns.
Jay. Oh, boy.
People are already complaining that he's missing recruits. But you know me, that's not me. I really like the guy. But yeah, Matt Campbell, I think he's a great pick. And listen, they fell into that. Like they fell. Like this could have gone very poorly for Penn State. Luckily, they got a hold of Matt Campbell when they did, and and convinced him, because we were looking at more subpar hirings. But yeah, Matt Campbell. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. I really like where it's going.
Yeah. Sticking with the Big Ten, Kyle Whittingham to Michigan is one of the biggest pieces of news. Obviously, Michigan, a lot of circumstances there off the field to go with the firing of Sharon Moore. But Kyle Whittingham stepped down at Utah, felt like he'd been there forever. It was kind of one of those situations where I think Whittingham is probably not going to be coaching for much longer. But this was a good hire given Michigan's circumstances, given the fact that Whittingham wanted a fresh start somewhere. And it seems like a good fit culturally, right? Like Michigan, you think of as a power program. It's not a program that's super flashy with what they do. They play a physical brand of football. That's who they want to be. I think this lines up identity wise. But we'll see how it shakes out. I think Whittingham again is not going to be the long-term fix. I think he's probably 5 years max. But I think he can have success there while he's there. It's just going to be almost a transitional period. It feels like for the first 2 seasons, kind of getting away from the Harbaugh dynasty, as it were. I know they only ended up with 1 championship, but Sharon Moore still felt like part of that coaching lineage. So now it's a transition period, really, in my mind. Whittingham, I think, will have the tools to be successful there, but I don't know that we're going to see Michigan contending for national championships while he's there. Still, though, I think it's a good hire.
Yeah, Jay, I think it's. I think you have a high floor with Whittingham. You have a high floor. I don't think it's going to be it's going to be good. I don't know if they also get to that spot, because I feel like Harbaugh, being a Michigan man himself, was able to sell Michigan man propaganda, Michigan man stuff to recruits because that's who he was. Whittingham isn't. And I do see a higher floor. However, there is a part of me, that thinks, is this going to be Rich Rod 2.0?
I don't think so, just because I don't think Whittingham is as abrasive. Like, from
Yes.
people I've talked to, Whittingham is a much more likable person.
Yeah.
And I've talked with this with Mike Craven on Aggie War Pod. Sometimes being a likable individual buys you a little bit more time.
Yes.
And
Yep.
I think that's the biggest difference between Whittingham and Rich Rod.
Yeah. Well, what's the saying? You can either win games. If you don't win games, you can't be an asshole.
Yeah.
You know, you can't. No, I can definitely see that, and I do think that's going to be a higher floor. I really do. I just don't know if Michigan's going to get to that. Again, Winningham can get them to the playoff, no doubt in my mind. But are they going to reach that same level they did under Harbaugh, which is the hardest level to get to? I don't know. I don't think so. But I still think Michigan's going to be it's going to be a well coached football team.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a higher floor for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. Pat Fitzgerald to Michigan State. Jay, I'm going to put aside the hazing scandal for a second. Okay? We can bring it back. It's okay. But yeah. I'm going to put it over there for right now. Listen. I think Pat Fitzgerald, what he was able to do at Northwestern was great. I really do. I don't know if this new era of college football is going to work with him, though. And the reason why I say that, and I know Northwestern is a tough place to win. It is. But his last 2 years, he went 4-20. Now, Braun came in, and hey, they put up a little bit of a fight. I think they got 7 wins back-to-back years. So they were still able to win some games, but the end of the Fitz era, which also, again, we know donors and brass aren't the most morally they're not really a moral compass, Jay. And I feel like if that hazing thing came out and Fitzgerald was still winning, I feel like the university, the donors would have rallied around him a little more and been like, hey, I don't think this is true. Whereas they just threw him under the bus and said, oh, we're going to fire him for cause now. But cause, there it is. That's what we're looking for. Fire him. He doesn't get his buyout.
Right.
I know he's taken him for court for wrongful termination. I know a lot of people clear him of wrongdoing, but Jay, I know you have said this before. If he didn't know about it and about the hazing stuff, then that might be that's a problem within itself.
Yeah.
So here's the thing with Fitzgerald. I don't think this is going to work out. I don't.
I think the game has just changed so much so rapidly that you need somebody that has had their finger on the pulse of the game. I think we've seen this with other coaches, right, that haven't been able to adjust. I think a guy like Dabo Swinney comes to mind, where Clemson has just taken an obvious step back. Where you look at a guy like Bill Belichick at North Carolina, and then there's a whole host of issues there too. But yeah, to your point again, we've talked about it ad nauseum that even if he didn't know about the hazing, that's a red flag, because you should be cognizant of all the things going on within your program, and have your finger on the pulse of it. So I don't love that aspect at all. But I just feel like this is Michigan State trying to get back to some semblance of relevance. They've seen what Pat Fitzgerald was able to do in his best years at Northwestern, and
two completely different places.
Yeah, Northwestern State. My apologies to the great folks of Natchitoches, Louisiana, and in the in the Southland Conference. Very different from the Big Ten.
Very different.
But Pat Fitzgerald, I'm with you, Jake. I don't think this hire is going to work out long term.
No, I don't. I mean, I think best case scenario, he gets them to like 8-4, 9-3, which I think they'd all be jumping for joy. Um, I just think that his philosophies and his coaching, and I think we saw it at the end of Northwestern. I think I don't know if he's built for it right now.
Yeah.
I don't, and also with you know Michigan State having their own set of problems. And listen, I know I don't really have a lot of room to talk when it comes to things like this. But you just got over a scandal with Tucker, and
Yeah.
now you get a guy who also had a little bit, but I don't know. I think best case scenario, 8-4, 9-3, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't see him getting there with Fitzgerald. I think this is a transition period.
Yeah.
This is, hey, who can we find? Jay, this next one.
Yeah.
Bob Chesney to UCLA. I love this hire.
It's a fantastic hire. Big fan of this one.
Yeah.
I think the only question would be James Madison had that run of success with Skenetti, obviously, beforehand, and you worry if like he was able to just stand on that. But we've seen what he was able to build at Holy Cross, right? And that was of his own making. So I love this hire. I think if you're UCLA fans, you should be excited about this hire. I think UCLA is also doing a good job in the recruiting. There's some momentum there. But I again, that's a tough place to win because I think you're the second program in the city, right?
Not
Like you
even
have to,
state in the city.
in the city with USC across town. There's some Rose Bowl drama too, which has added to it. But you look at this, and I think UCLA did an excellent job here. Really interested to see how this program is going to shake out with Chesney at the helm, because I think this is about the best hire they could have made.
I love this hire. I was a big proponent for Penn State to go after Bob Chesney. Like I really like this Bob Chesney hire. Listen, I have a friend whose brother works at Holy Cross, and they say everything good you read about Chesney, it's the truth. Like this guy was awesome in the coach's office. He's awesome in the building. He's a young guy. I love this hire. I gave this an A minus, Jay, and the reason why it's not an A is the same reason that you said is was he able to just kind of piggyback off of Signetti's success at James Madison? However, he did really well at Holy Cross too. I love this hire. I feel like there's new life in UCLA right now. This is the new life. Almost, I don't want to say a sleeping giant, but it's a program I think that's just begging to be woken up a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like there hasn't really been hype around this program since like the Josh Rosen era, when, they didn't necessarily perform the best, but they at least had some expectations. I feel like Bob Chesney's at least going to get him back to that point where you can expect UCLA to have a pull.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jay, let's get into the SEC. Let's get into the SEC. And we're going to start off with Alex Golish going to Auburn. Listen, Alex Golish, he did a good job at USF, had a great 9-3 campaign, their best year in almost a decade. Jay, why do I have a bad feeling about this?
See, and I disagree with you on this. I think this is a great hire. I look at what Alex Golish did when he first got to South Florida. This was a program that hadn't won against an FBS opponent.
They were bad when he was
they
there.
were in a terrible way.
Yeah, they were.
And he was able to rebuild that quickly, get them to a bowl game his first year, right? Like you're to 6-6, and then you have the 9-3 campaign last year. I think this is a good hire, and I think it's going to make, again, the SEC is just so tough. It may not go well. And that's with any power conference. But I think this was a good hire for Auburn. I think you get away from a guy that they hired just because he beat Alabama a couple times in the past. Like the only reason I think that hire was made in Hugh Freeze. And you look at Alex Golish, and he's younger, right? He has some great experience. Obviously did a good job with South Florida. I think this is a good hire.
Yeah, I mean, I think on the grading scale, I gave it a C plus, but I don't know. I feel like this is Billy Napier all over again, but with Auburn. The good news is though they have the Byron Brown's coming,
Yeah.
which I think is going to really help them. I do not know. This is a flip a coin. I have a bad feeling about it, but like I can't really justify it.
Yeah.
I I can't really justify it. I think I just remember some of those South Florida games and thinking like they should be winning this game by more,
Yeah.
or like they're letting this team hang, and you can't do that in the SEC. So I don't know. I think that's where it stems from, but I it's good on paper. It's good on paper. I just I don't know. I have a bad feeling about it.
We'll see. I mean, only time will
Yeah,
tell, and we have been wrong about coaches. We've been right about coaches.
yeah,
But moving on, John Sumrall to Florida.
yeah.
Obviously, John Sumrall was at Tulane. Uh, has been at Troy before that. Did well at both programs. Great coach. I think this is another great hire. Uh, he's a guy that, yes, you didn't see him very long at Tulane after Willie Fritz had built that program up, but he has that history with Troy of turning a program around that had fallen off after Neil Brown left. It's just going to be interesting to see how this shakes out because again, like Florida, I feel like is just a place that's so hard to get comfortable.
Mm.
I feel like they've just been churning through coaches since the Urban Meyer years. Just really hard for anybody to stay on. I mean, Will Muschamp, uh, McElwain, right? You go through all these names, you know, Mullen, and then most recently Billy Napier, and it just it feels like it's so hard for somebody to establish anything there. Uh, so we'll see if Summerall can break out of that bunch. Obviously, a very tough place because you have a program in state in Miami who's really rolling right now. Feels like it's really hard for Miami, Florida, and Florida State to all be good at the same time. Like it feels like one's going to be up, one's going to be down, one's going to be kind of middling. Uh, so tough place, but I think John Summerall is a great coach, and I think this was another good hire in the SEC.
I like this. I like this hire more. Like you said, I really look back to those Troy days after Neil Brown left. They took a dip. He comes in, they start winning again. Takes over after Willie Fitz at Tulane. Again, Willie Fritz did a heck of a job there. So it was a little bit, I don't want to say easier, but he had something already established. Um, Listen, I want to love this. I think it's a good hire. But again, we all loved the Billy Napier hire. And Florida, like you said, it's a different animal. There's high expectations. You have to recruit against two major power programs in your in your state. Um, I do think this is going to at least get Florida back to playoff contending. I don't. Again, I'm not saying they're going to make the playoff. I'm not saying they're going to win a championship. I'm saying this is at least going to get them back to playoff contention with John Summerall. I believe that.
Yeah, and like Florida's going to have talent. It's just a matter of maximizing that and then making sure your team is a cohesive unit. I think
Mm.
Summerall's the guy who can provide that. But again, never know. Moving on to Kentucky, who has hired Will Stein, offensive coordinator. Great offensive mind. This kind of feels like a throwback to like I think of Kentucky from like the Hal Mum and Mike Leach, right? Like when
Yep.
it was kind of the genesis of the air raid. Obviously, under Stoops, the past decade or so, they've been more of a defensive-minded team. I mean, there are times where, right, when like Lynn Bowden's playing quarterback, and it's
Ground
not,
and
yeah, it's
pound.
ground and pound, good defense. This is obviously going to be a completely different animal, completely different beast with Will Stein there. I think it's an interesting hire. I think it's a good hire. I think knowing that Kentucky, where they are in the pecking order of the SEC, at least in football, I think it's a intriguing decision. So just really interested to see how this one turns out. I don't have a strong feeling one way or the
Mm.
other. I would give this like if I'm grading this, I'm giving this like a B minus.
Yeah.
Like it's a fine hire. I think Will Stein is a guy that you can be excited about, but it's going to be a transition to get from the offense of the past to what Will Stein will want to do there in Lexington.
Yeah. I think Kentucky fans can, like you said, they can be excited. I think it fits well with the, again, like you said, that old Kentucky identity, back to the 90s,
Like
Jay. Yeah.
97 to 2000.
97 to 2000. Yeah. Um, and again, it's not a it's a former coordinator, a guy who was at Oregon. Will Stein made a name for himself there. And listen, you're taking a chance, but you're Kentucky. You can take a chance. And I think this is at least going to be fun. And, it's again breathing new life into a program that I think desperately needed a change. Mark Stoops did good things, but, it was time.
Yeah.
It was time for a change. And I think Will Stein is a good fit there. Again, we don't know if this one's going to work out. Will Stein hasn't been a head coach before, but it's going to be interesting watching it.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, Kentucky can afford to take these chances knowing that they haven't really been to that upper rung of the SEC. Maybe Will Stein can make that change. We'll see.
Yep.
Moving over to Arkansas, who has hired Ryan Silverfield, longtime Memphis coach. My biggest gripe with Ryan Silverfield is it felt like every year we talked about Memphis as a potential playoff buster and
Mhm.
American berth for the playoff team. And it felt like they just never got over that hump. And
Yeah.
like, I don't want to say that Ryan Silverfield is not a good coach because I think, winning at any level is impressive. But I worry about him not being able to get that over that hump and seeing if he's able to do that at Arkansas, who has just not found sustained success at all. Uh,
Yeah. Like, yeah, no, I'm just kind of echoing what you said. Uh, Every time we talk about Memphis earlier in the year, like you said, that hey, this is a potential playoff team. Hey, this team is really good. This is a team to watch out for, and they would win 8, 9 games, but they would lose two head scratchers. I feel like every year, where I'm like, how? Like again, I know people listening are like, hey, he was at Memphis, 8-4, 9-3. Yeah, but it seemed like his teams were were more talented than the majority of the teams in the American, and they just never got over that hump, especially when Tulane and Willie Fritz and John Summerall were there.
yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just feel like they never, like you said, they never got over that hump. And Arkansas is towards the bottom of the SEC. Okay, what are you going to do when your team isn't more talented than everyone else? What are you going to do when you're not on par with those other schools? And unfortunately, I don't think this is going to work out at all.
No, I'm with you on that one, Jake. I just think, no, again, no shade to Ryan Silverfield. It's just
No,
you
yeah.
haven't gotten over that hump, and I don't see you doing it at a place like Arkansas, who is not going to have the talent that some of the other schools in the SEC have. Moving on to probably the biggest flash hire of the SEC coaching cycle. Of course, that's Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss for LSU. That game later this season at night in Oxford is going to be must-watch television.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, you knew Lane was getting out of Oxford eventually.
Yep.
He gets down to Baton Rouge. LSU, they're going to have a ton of talent. The offense is going to be fun with Lane Kiffin at the helm. Coach O is back in the fold, which is wild to think about. But Lane Kiffin is the most effective heel in the sport.
Mhm.
So there's always going to be some other stories, I guess we should say,
Yeah.
floating around with him involved. You have to think that there's probably going to be some distractions. I think Ole Miss never really reached their full potential. Like, I think Lane Kiffin did a fantastic job there. I don't want to discount that. But Lane Kiffin, I think, had the talent to make deep playoff runs, and they never did. I think they'll be in the playoff contention consistently while he's the coach there. I just worry that you're going to have some collapses in games at
Yep.
times that lead to some disdain, and I don't think LSU fans are going to put up with it necessarily. And I think that's going to lead to some interesting fracas behind the scenes at times. But it's going to be must-watch television the whole way. So this is
He
going to
needs
be fun to see how
Yeah.
it turns out. Uh, I don't know. Like the ceiling is a national championship. We know that.
Yes.
Because Coach O has won a national championship there, and love Coach O. I think he's a great character, but nobody's going to call him the one of the best coaches of all time.
No.
Just the pure talent that you have there at LSU means that expectations are higher. So can't wait to watch this one unfold because I think it's going to be exciting, good or bad. I think it's a fine hire. Just don't know how long it'll last.
Jay, it is the match made in hell. You have those crazy LSU fans, those boosters with the biggest heel right now in college football, Lane Kiffin, who embraces being that heel. And Jay, again, like you said, there have been times Kiffin had teams that were recruiting very high level. And it's like, okay, this is the year. And he lost to Kentucky. Oh, he lost to someone else. Like, I feel like there were years where he should have been in it and he never, like, it just never panned out. Um, so I don't know. I don't think this is going to work. However, like you said, Coach O was able, because of recruiting, they were just able to out talent everybody and then go to the national title. Can Kiffin do that? Absolutely. You're in Louisiana. Every kid in Louisiana dreams of playing for LSU. More so, Jay, probably than any other state. Like kids in Ohio, yeah, some might want to be a Cincinnati Bengal or, believe it or not, a Cleveland Brown or what are other Ohio teams? Cincinnati, Cleveland. I'm missing one.
That would be Cincinnati, Cleveland.
Is there no other Ohio team? No,
I
maybe
can't think
not.
of any other.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Okay. Or maybe a Pittsburgh Steeler if they're on the
East side. Yeah.
eastern part of Ohio. I'm sorry. The majority of kids in Louisiana don't dream of playing for the Saints. They dream playing for LSU. And it's recruiting built in right there. And you have Coach O coming back to help with recruiting. Did you see him talking to the recruits walking out of the tunnel?
Yeah.
Like it's what you like. Kiffin doesn't have to sell it. He doesn't have to
And he
sell
doesn't want to
anything.
recruit. He's glad that he has Coach O to be there to recruit.
Right. He doesn't need to. So there is a chance he might be out. He might just be able to out talent everybody. But I also have this feeling that it's just never going to pan out. However, this year, and I'm going to sound very contradicting, but they have 41 transfers. This might be also an Indiana situation where they might lose a game early or might be look shaky early, and then they just start meshing at the right time. Kind of like Indiana last year, where they were just meshing at the right time. They were gelling at the right time. So I don't know. Is LSU going to win a national title under Lane Kiffin? Who the hell knows? But it's going to be must-see TV.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then the guy that replaced Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, Pete Golding, I think you kind of have to give him the shot after what they did in the playoff. We'll see if it turns out the way it needs to. But, I mean, generally these interim to head coach hires don't. Still, I think it's a fine decision for Ole Miss. You kind of keep the nucleus of the program together. There's some rallying behind Golding. Sure, I'm okay with this.
Yep. Yeah, I'm okay with this one too. Because Jay, this is what happens. You go in another direction after you just had that contending that playoff run, and everyone's gonna go. So this is what happens. You keep Golding, you keep everything in house. Say in 2 or 3 years, like, hey, it's not working out. Now you have justification. Now you might be able to get some of those guys to stay, But if you would have, if they wouldn't have hired Golding, they would have been looking at a bigger mess. So one, I like the hire for keeping everything together. Unfortunately, usually what happens here, the shine wears off and it's just not going to work. But I think Ole Miss had to make this one.
Yeah. And now we move on to the Big 12, where Eric Morris has taken over after Mike Gundy's reign at Oklahoma State comes to an end. The Cowboys go and get a guy that's super talented, great offensive mind, understudy of Mike Leach. Was at North Texas most recently, had some success at Incarnate Word. Eric Morris, the offense is going to be great. That offense is going to be great. He brings some transfers with him. Mestamaker is going to be there in Stilly. I think this is going to be a fun one. I'm excited to see how Eric Morris does at Oklahoma State. I think this one made a lot of sense. I think Oklahoma State should actually be pretty happy that they got Morris, because I think Morris probably could have gotten a better job, because now he's the guy following Gundy, who was there for forever, right? Mm-hmm. Which is always a tough position to step into, but I think this was a good hire for Oklahoma State.
Listen, I think this is a perfect fit. I think this is going to be Oklahoma State back in those early Gundy days where they're just going to be slinging the rock everywhere. Yes, you have some worry about, being the guy after the guy, but I think this is a great match. I think this is what Oklahoma State needs to get back in that national picture.
Yeah, sticking with the Big 12, Morgan Scalley at Utah. Scalley has been the head coach in waiting for a long time. We've already kind of talked about Whittingham leaving and felt like it was just time for a fresh start for the Utes. I think that was a mutually beneficial decision, because I don't think they can hold on to Scalley for much longer. He's a guy that has, I think, played football or coached in football his entire life in Utah. Just a guy that gets the state, understands the program, and yeah, I mean, this was always the hire. Like, this was the decision I think this decision had been made a long time ago. We'll put it that way. Whether it works out or not, we'll see. But like, they didn't have to go search for a guy. They knew who they were hiring to replace Whittingham. Now Scalley gets his chance to be the man at the helm.
Yeah. So, Jay, I feel like Utah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. So I feel like Utah did not want to lose Scally, right?
I think it's accurate.
They didn't want to lose him. Whittingham isn't going to retire, and they're like, if we leave Whittingham here, Scally might go somewhere else. And I think that is where we see that, hey, the push out of Whittingham.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I don't know that it was too much of a push out either. I think Whittingham had done all he could do and realized that and wanted a new challenge of his own. Now, I think there was probably some feedback from Utah that they were looking to put Scally into that role finally, and that helped make Whittingham's decision. But I really do think this is one of the cases where it was a mutual decision, and Scally was always going to be the hire.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good hire. I think Utah got their guy, and if you're around a program and you're like, hey, that's the guy we want, and you get him, now everyone gets to rally around him. So I think, hey, if Utah's happy, I'm happy. They have their finger close to the pulse there. So again, I don't know if it's going to work out, but I think Utah got the guy that they wanted, and more power to him.
Yep. Moving on to another guy that was, I think, always slated for a position, Colin Klein to Kansas State as the head coach. Had spent the past couple of years at A&M as offensive coordinator, was a assistant at Kansas State before that. Played under legendary Bill Snyder. Like, this is a guy who is Kansas State through and through, prodigal son coming home. We'll see if it works out, but I think we know what you're getting with Colin Klein. You know what that offense is going to look like. Going to get that pin pull action going. He's bringing some good coaches with him from A&M. I think this is a good hire. Again,
Great.
We don't know how the prodigal son's going to work out. Sometimes it doesn't. Looking at Scott Frost at Nebraska, but I think this was a good decision by the folks in the Little Apple in Manhattan.
I think this is perfect. I also think it's going to work. Again, at Kansas State, you don't really have to compete for national titles. You just got to win a bunch of games and compete for the Big 12. And man, Colin Klein can do that. Um, Again, I know you're probably sad to see him leave, Jay, but I think this is a perfect hire. Again, this is another one where the program got their guy, and I know we talk about prodigal sons not working out. Colin Klein is not Scott Frost. I think he's
No,
a
he's
little
not.
more likable. So I love this hire. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Moving on to Iowa State, Ames, the other half of Farmageddon, as it were.
Yes.
Jimmy Rogers, former South Dakota State head coach, was at Washington State last year. The Cougars went 6-6. Obviously, a very tough situation there in Pullman. But yeah, I think this is fine. You have to replace Matt Campbell, who's been there for a long time. Kind of a tough decision. Like, this is another the man replacing the man type of role. We'll see if he can build a program, but I'm okay with this hire.
Here's the thing: that late in the process, I think you're fine with hiring Jimmy Rogers. The only thing that worries me is Jimmy Rogers didn't really have to build anything at South Dakota State. You know what I'm saying? And listen, he went 6-6 last year at Wazoo. Again, much easier schedule than what he's going to see at Iowa State. I worry about his program building skills because he was gifted a very good program at South Dakota State in the FCS. I think for the time frame, I think this is as good as probably you were going to get at the time.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Moving on to the ACC, the All Coast Conference, right?
Yes, the All Coach Conference.
Your guy. I'm going to let you take the lead here because James Franklin is now the head coach at Virginia Tech.
Yeah, James Franklin is the head coach at Virginia Tech. Again, James Franklin is a program builder. And if you want to see your floor of your conference, or sorry, the floor of your program be raised, I think James Franklin is the type of guy for that. Yes, he has problems in big games. Yes, he has problems against top 5 teams, top 10 teams in the country. But here's the thing, Jay. What James Franklin recruits is what you're going to see on the field, right? What he recruits at a level between 8th in the country and 15th in the country. Jay, where do most of James Franklin teams finish? Between 8 and 12 or 8 and 15. And guess what? If you're told me in 5 years, whatever James Franklin recruits, that's where he's going to end up, Virginia Tech will be doing backflips.
Yeah.
And to add, who is the most legendary coach at Virginia Tech?
That would be Frank Beamer.
Frank Beamer. How many wins did Frank Beamer have against top 5 opponents?
I'll say 4.
2.
2.
So the thing is, James Franklin can do pretty much that. Again, he's a politician. I know Virginia Tech fans are loving him right now. His shtick gets a little old. However, as a Penn State guy, and again, I was way more favorable to Franklin than a lot of my counterparts or my colleagues. However, Virginia Tech got a very good coach who is going to get them into big games. Okay, they haven't. When's the last time Virginia Tech has been in a big game?
Right. It's been the Beamer years.
It probably, yeah, it's been the Beamer years. So, okay, we want to get back to playing in those games. James Franklin's the type of guy, and I don't want to take shots at the ACC. I mean, yeah, Miami's good right now, but are you going to see a team in the ACC that's as good as Ohio State? Are you going to see a team in the ACC that's as good as Oregon? Are you going to see a team in the ACC that is as good as some of those Michigan teams were a couple years ago? Okay. You have Miami, and that's it right now. It's wide open outside of Miami. I think, again, this is a conference where Duke was in the championship game last year. No offense to my boy Manny Diaz, but come on. So I think James Franklin, yes, can make some noise and can be a consistent contender in the ACC and make playoff runs. And guess what? At Virginia Tech, they're going to be okay with that. Hey, get us to the playoff. So I think it's a great hire for them. And the only thing I'm worried about, Jay, is with what we saw last year at Penn State, is this going to be a trend of James Franklin maybe being in the game for too long? And is the NIL era starting to pass him by? Because listen, James Franklin is kind of an old school guy. He's a player's coach, but his philosophies are old school with NIL, with all that stuff. So again, that is my worry with him, but I do think it's going to work out.
Yeah. Will be interesting to see for sure. One other thing is he recruits the DMV fantastically well. Really important there at Virginia Tech. He'll look to keep that up, but I think this is a good hire. Moving on to the other coast of the All Coast Conference, in Cal, Tosh Latoy, a Cal grad, is taking the role there at Berkeley. I think it's a good one. I like. This is a guy who has been around a lot of programs, always recruited well. He's been under Saban. Like, this is a good hire. We'll see. I feel like Wilcox was there for forever at Cal.
Dude, do you know how many
long
times
after we thought, yeah.
How many times we're like, Wilcox is still there on the hot seat?
Yeah.
I like it because it's a Cal alumni who's going to sell Cal, who is going to try and build that program, who cares about the program. Former Saban disciple, which I think helps. The only thing I'm going to worry about is Cal's offense. You know, are they going to get someone in there to run that offense? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe bring Marshawn Lynch to recruit. You know how like LSU's using O. But I think this is a good move for Cal. Again, new era. I think they needed it.
Yeah. Of course, Cal's rival also with a new hire, Tavita Pritchard at Stanford. Listen, I have nothing, Jake. I have nothing here.
Nothing.
I think this is okay. I mean, Stanford has been lost in the woods for a while now. I don't know that this is going to fix it, but I don't know enough to say that it's definitely not going to work. So we'll see what happens.
No clue. I know this is an Andrew Luck hire. Like, this is a guy Andrew Luck like really went to bat for. I mean, he's a pretty smart guy. I don't know how much he knows about the college game. Usually I like when NFL assistants take coaching jobs in college, but he only coached in the NFL for 3 years, and he's really kind of bounced around, I feel like. So I don't know. I have no clue, Jay. No clue. I can't even make a prediction on this.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck liked him.
A hire was made.
Yeah. Andrew Luck liked him. That's all I know.
Moving on from the group of 4 teams, we're getting into the American now. Brian Hartline, a longtime Ohio State assistant, is the hire at South Florida. He's going to recruit well. We'll see what happens after that.
Yeah. I think recruiting is going to stay on point for South Florida. The thing is, and my doubt is with Hartline, what's he going to do when he doesn't have the most talented guys in the room?
Yeah.
What's he going to do when he doesn't have the most talented people? And listen, at South Florida, he might in that conference, but that is my worry with Brian Hartline. Because at Ohio State, he had all the best dudes in the country. Look at those receivers, but who got him there? So that's another thing to look at as well. There, South Florida is going to recruit well, no doubt about it.
Yeah, they're going to recruit well, and again, it's an area where a lot of guys can kind of slip through the cracks just because you have so much talent in Florida. They're in a better spot than they were 3 years ago, right, when Golish got there.
Yeah.
So you have that to kind of build off of a little bit, but it's a wait-and-see approach there. One hire that I did not like in the cycle, Will Hall to Tulane. Will Hall did not have success at Southern Miss, really struggled there, and I realized that Southern Miss was a mess, but just don't love this hire. I think this one's one that I just wasn't impressed with in this cycle.
No, I think they made the hire because he was both under Fritz and Summerall. And they're like, because he was under them both, he'll be fine. I don't love it. I do not like it. I do not like it. The only thing, Jay, was Will Hall on their staff last year?
I'm not 100% sure. Yeah.
I'm going to look that up because that is the only logical thing. He was the pass. I don't like this. So he was only on staff last year as the passing game coordinator. I don't. I know he's there for a year, but Jay, are those guys really going to be that loyal to him for
We'll
a
see.
year?
That's an interesting one.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, like this isn't Pete Golding. I don't know. I do not love this. I
No.
don't love it. Again, Southern Miss was a mess. It went 14-30 there, but again, that's really more them than him. But yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
So speaking of Southern Miss, Charles Huff, who was at Southern Miss, goes to Memphis with 7-5 and is only there at South. Was at Marshall before that, had success there. He's jumped around a little bit, which you have to wonder about if you're a Memphis fan, and knowing that Memphis has been historically a stepping stone job. Guys like Fuente and Norvell moving on quickly from there. But we know he's a good coach, so we'll see what happens. I think this is a good hire. I just don't know that Huff's going to be there for long.
Short term, you love it. As a Memphis fan, you're like, oh, I like this guy. And listen, that's follower of the program, Charles Huff, by the way.
Yeah.
Listen, I love Charles Huff. I think the biggest knock against Charles Huff is what everybody does in this industry, and that is he is climbing that ladder. So if you're a Memphis fan, it's like, if you're going to do good, also know he's probably not going to stick around long. But that means you're going to do well. So I do love the hire in the short term. I think this is the hire Memphis needed. Jay, can I say something controversial?
You got it.
I think Charles Huff is a better coach than Silverfield. I like that. I like that better than I like the Charles Huff. Yeah, I like Charles Huff better than Silverfield. I think Memphis got a better coach right now.
Listen, I don't disagree with you. I think that we've seen him do more with less, right? Marshall wasn't necessarily the most talented roster in the Sun Belt, and he had success there. You think he's going to have more talent relative to the roster at Memphis. So I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, love it. Jay, next up.
Yeah, so we're going to stick with the American, go to Alex Mortensen to UAB. So just to set the stage here, anybody who has listened to our podcast knows that we were not fans of the Trent Dilfer hire there in Birmingham. Had a lot of scratching heads. This is a hire that is designed to get you a little more stability, designed to get you back in good graces with your donors. I don't think Mortensen's going to do much at UAB compared to like the Bill Clark years where we saw a lot of success for this program. But he's going to be better than Dilfer. So the bar is on the floor compared to that. I think it's fine. I don't think this is going to be a long-term solution, but I think he's going to be better than Dilfer. And if you're a UAB fan, that's probably a silver lining for you.
Yeah, I know why they did it. It's damage control. You know, it's trying to keep people together here. Jay, I do have a question. How many years, okay, before he was hired at UAB? He was hired at UAB in 2023. Okay. So 3, 4, 5. So he's been 3 years. He's been an offensive coordinator. Okay. Has he ever been a position coach in college before becoming a coordinator?
Well, I'm cheating. I did bring up his. I brought up his page. He was a quarterbacks coach at New Mexico Highlands in Las Vegas, New Mexico, D2 school there.
I'm not counting that. So my thing is, so GA at Alabama, analyst at Alabama, AAF, Alliance American Football, which, hey, shout out the AAF. Forgot about that. Analyst at Alabama again, and then he joins Dilfer's staff. Again, I think this is damage control, but like also, Where are his credentials? How did he become an offensive coordinator that fast at a Division I program? Like,
I don't know what to tell you.
why? Like, I don't know. And again, this stems from the Dilfer hire. I don't think this is going to work out. This is strictly damage control. This is, let's try and keep all these guys here for as long as we can.
Yeah. I guess one little nugget was Mortensen's the son of the late ESPN NFL analyst Chris Mortensen. So
yes, I did also see that. Yes, did not add it.
That's not a huge fan of this hire, but again, better than Dilfer. So the bar's on the floor.
Anything's better than Dilfer. I'm better than Dilfer. Anyway,
Neil Brown to North Texas.
Neil Brown.
I like this one, Jake. I like this one.
I like
this
it
is a
too.
Good hire.
I like it too for Neil Brown. Again, I think this is the guy. It's not going to be bad. I don't know how good it's going to be, but it's not going to be bad. The only thing that I think sucks for North Texas fans that you just had this flashy, awesome offense, and now Neil Brown is not flashy really at all. So I know it's not a hot name right now. I know at West Virginia, he was like 6-6, 7-5. That was like just middling the entire time before having a bad year. I think this is good for everyone involved. I like the hire. I don't know if North Texas is going to win the conference, but I think they're going to be all right.
Yeah.
I think it's a B. I think it's a B hire.
I think it's a B hire. I
B.
Approve of it. I think it's going to be fine. It's going to be a little bit of a transition from Eric Morris. I think you're going to be a little more balanced as a program. But I like this hire. Moving on to the new Pac-12. Kirby Moore to Washington State. Sure. Fine. Whatever.
Yeah. Brother of Kellen Moore. Okay. But can he coach like his brother? He's been around the block a little bit. Offense coordinator at Fresno and Mizzou. I think I like it. It's fine. You know, again, you're at Wazoo. It's late in the game. You could take a chance on a guy like that.
Yeah. Right. One hire that I did like, a program that I've considered a sleeping giant for a while, Jim Moore to Colorado State. He was really, really impressive at UConn, knowing the struggles of that program. I think he's a guy that can move Colorado State forward. I think they're going to be taking a leap here with Mora. I actually really like them to be more competitive in the Pac-12 this year. So I like this hire quite a bit, Jake.
I love it. Love it. I think this might be one of the best hires in the entire country. Jay, you've said it. We've been talking about Colorado State being a sleeping giant for how long? Listen, Moore did great in the beginning at UCLA. Back-to-back 9-win years at UConn, at a place that's very hard to win. He has some NFL ties, which obviously is going to help. I think this is an absolute home run hire. I love it, and I think this is huge for Colorado State. Love this hire. Absolutely love it.
Moving on to Oregon State, a program that has been kind of going through it similar to Washington State. Jamarcus Shepard is the hire for the Beavers. This is another guy that I just don't know a ton about.
Nothing. I know nothing. I coached at Bama, Purdue, and Western Kentucky. I think he's a good offensive coach, but I think this is one that is kind of came out of nowhere. So I don't know. I hope he can prove us wrong, or I hope he can prove that he can be that guy, because Oregon State's a fun program to root for.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Going to the Mountain West with Northern Illinois. Again, this is a weird one because I just can't get over the fact that Northern Illinois is in the Mountain West now. Thomas Hammock leaves. Rob Harley is the hire there. And Jake, again, I don't really have much to add here.
Nothing. Yeah, this is one where it's the interim. You have to do what you have to do. But also, we got to notice that we got coaches jumping ship really early to the NFL just because of how crazy it's been, in college. So, yeah.
All right. And we're heading back east. We get to the Sun Belt. Billy Napier is back in the Sun Belt. He's at James Madison. after the Florida uh, job did not go the way he wanted it to.
Did not.
Just kind of never really did what you expected. They had some good wins while he was there, but just not a complete team. I think he's a better fit for this role. I think he'll do well at James Madison. Still think you have some pieces in place there. Uh, and I think this is a fine hire. I don't know how long Billy Napier is going to be there, but I actually think this is going to be successful. I think this is just a better spot for him. He's not a Power Five coach, but I think he can be solid there in the Sun Belt.
I think this definitely can work. Again, James Madison's in a great place, but again, it's that Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Are we getting ULL Billy Napier or are we getting Florida Billy Napier? Because here's the caveat, Jay. James Madison has these high expectations now. If going 8-4 and 9-3 probably isn't going to satisfy those James Madison people. They want to win the Sun Belt. They want to be in the top 20. And if he's not going to deliver that, he's probably going to be packing. So, past teams, they really didn't do him any favors because he's going into a place with some high expectations now.
Yeah, definitely going to be some expectations there. Sticking with the Sun Belt, now you go to Blake Anderson to Southern Miss, replacing Charles Huff. There's some baggage here, Jake.
Okay, so let's just talk about the coaching. Just as a coach, I like it. He's done some good jobs at other places. Here's the problem. And Jay, I did some digging on this because he was also involved in a hazing thing where a student athlete of his was a whistleblower for some Title IX stuff that he saw going on. And Anderson made him apologize to the team. And then he got some hazing from other players, and Anderson knew about it. Anderson, it's like he knew that, hey, I'm going to make this guy apologize. And then it's like his life's going to be miserable. Totally negligent. Again, this is he knew. Now, I know he's also fighting a wrongful termination. However, I think he's going to lose.
I don't see how it could be wrongful termination, but
I don't, because it was a whistleblower. And then after that, he made the kid apologize to the team, and then he was hazed. And he set the kid up. So I do not know how he can still be coaching here. Again, just coaching, it's fine, but man, I don't think the baggage is good. And also Southern Miss, you just got over the Brett Favre thing. Can you make better decisions?
No, they can't.
No, they can't.
Ryan Beard takes over at Coastal Carolina after being the coach at Missouri State. Sure.
This was
strange.
This was a strange one because he went 19-16 at Missouri State. I don't know. I feel like Coastal's been at a decent place where they could have gotten someone better. I don't know.
I don't disagree with you, but I mean, this is the choice they made, so we'll see if it works out.
Yeah, I don't like it. Don't like it. I thought Coastal could have done better. Jay, let's go to the MAC. Return to the MAC. Mike Jacobs to Toledo. I think, Jay, this is the most underrated coaching hire, or very under the radar, and I think underrated. Won a lot at the D2 level. He did a really good job at Mercer. Okay. Jay, I think this can work. I like this hire. And listen, I know Toledo has expectations that come with it, but I really like this hire with Mike Jacobs.
Yeah, this is not one that I knew a ton about, but definitely interested to see how it shakes out there. Jason Candle had a lot of success there at Toledo, so big shoes to fill. But I think this is going to be one worth watching. Moving on to Kent State, Mark Carney, tough place to win. So we'll see. This is a program that is also a mess.
He went 4-4 at the end of the year, though. Yeah. So I mean, All right, give it a try, right? Like, hey, let's keep guys here. Let's give it a try. It's one of the worst programs in the country. If he even wins 5 games, they'll be happy.
Yeah, this is another one where the bar's on the floor for the program just because
Yeah.
of what they've done in the
How
past.
bad they've been.
Interesting. Ohio, a place that has just, I felt like, churned through coaches recently.
Yeah.
John Hauser is the new head man for the Bobcats. The crazy thing is, this is still a program that is finding success in the
Mhm.
midst of all this turnover.
Yeah.
So I think, he did a good job as the interim, and now he gets the nod.
Mhm.
And this is a program that seems to be near the top of the MAC every year. So
Yeah.
sure, I mean, keep the momentum rolling.
Yeah. Where did Brian Smith go, by the way?
Uh, did they have to let him go? Did he have a little scandal?
Oh, yes, he did. Yes. He was texting people that he shouldn't have been. Or he was calling. Hang on.
And was he the one that also had the alcohol in the office?
Yes, the alcohol in the office. Yes, yes, yes. That's what it was. It was the alcohol in the office. And then he may have been texting, calling. I don't know. But yes, the alcohol in the office was definitely the big one, though. Okay. Yeah, I think it's fine. He did well at the end of the year. I think this is a good move by the Bobcats. And listen, like you said, they've been having turnarounds of coaches. They just keep winning. So
Yeah.
they're doing pretty well. Conference USA, Jay. Casey Woods to Missouri State. He was under Bill Clark and Eli Drinkowitz. I think that's two guys, vastly different guys. But I think that's good.
Yeah.
I think that's at least a good. You have a decent resume behind two successful coaches.
Yeah, and Missouri State is obviously still in the infancy of their time in the FBS. Uh, I don't hate this hire
Yeah.
with Ryan Beard going to Coastal, so we'll see if Casey Woods can step in and build that program at the FBS level. We mentioned this name already, talking about Mike Jacobs to Toledo, Jason Candle to UConn. I think this is a good hire.
Oh,
Jason
great
Candle
hire.
had a ton of success there for the Rockets, and UConn is a program that has seen a little bit of a resurgence thanks to Jim Mora. They're looking to keep that going, and I think that Candle to UConn is a good choice, good decision.
Yeah, no, I love this hire. 81-44, 2 conference championships at Toledo, 3 division titles. Great offensive coach, can run a program. I thought he'd get a bigger job.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I saw his name getting thrown around for some jobs.
Yeah.
Like I think Kansas State was looking at him, even though Colin Klein always felt like the hire there. Iowa State was one that I saw kind of poking around there. But it's good for UConn, right?
I
I
love it.
think
I love it
this
for
is another
UConn.
one of those underrated hires.
Yep. Absolutely love it for UConn. Jay, a little housekeeping before we land the plane. Next week, we will be live on Tuesday night at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. We're going to talk about the Big Ten with our friend Jeffrey the Greek. And then the following week, we should have a guest. Just got to tie some things up there, but we're also going to be on Tuesday night at 6 Central. Okay, so the next 2 episodes are going to be live at, please don't do that. The next 2 night, or so the next 2 pods are going to be on Tuesday night at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, and then the pod will release to everyone who listens on Apple, Spotify, wherever, on Wednesday morning. Okay, so we're going to be live next week on Tuesday for our Big Ten. I hate
the wheels are falling off here. For those that are watching, you got the reference, but I couldn't just let the number 6 and 7 slide by. I'm sorry, Jake. It had to be done.
Yeah.
I'm going to attempt to land the plane now amidst this turbulence, as it were. Thank you again to all of you who tune in for the Get Back Coach podcast. We appreciate it. So great to be back here for the season talking about football. Can't wait to see the actual games in progress. Do all the things that help us grow as a podcast: like, subscribe, share, word of mouth, all of that. Get it out to your friends. If you're a potential sponsor, slide in the DMs, let us know so that we can start putting you out there in front of our audience. Thank you once again to all the listeners, and we'll see you next time.
From all of us at the Get Back Coach, have a